In St. Luke chapter 9, it talks about how there was about 5,000 people that were hungry. And Jesus was directing his disciples about how he wanted this miracle to be set up. The disciples told Jesus there was only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish to eat. At this time, the disciples to me forgot to realize that Jesus already knew the people's situation. And he had the power to bless them and bless the situation, just like he has the power to bless you in your situation. Even when the reality of the situation says you're not going to make it, like your electric might get cut off, your car might get repossessed, I have enough money for the mortgage this month, you didn't get that promotion that you wanted, that you worked so hard for, you lost your job, you can no longer afford your college courses, you're failing all of your classes, and the times that you stress over these types of situations, try to work on developing the ability to be able to praise and thank God in advance for bringing you out on the other side of that situation. No situation, no trial, no tribulation lasts forever. If you notice, it's usually just some tribulations last longer than others, but there's usually an end or a resolve to the situation, whether that result is good or bad. Adversity is hard for everyone to handle at times, but just remember, for my believers and non-believers, adversity will either make you stronger or wiser if you can keep your composure and always try to see a light at the end of every tunnel of that situation. Jesus knew they didn't have enough food to feed all 5,000 people, and so did the disciples. The Bible says that Jesus told his disciples to make the crowd of people sit down in rows and columns of 50. And then it says he took the 5 loaves and 2 fish and looked up towards heaven, and he blessed them and broke bread, meaning he shared the food and the blessing with his disciples and with the crowd of people. Of course, the miracle that Jesus performed was powerful. But what I took from it was what led up to it. So instead of the disciples trying to fix the food problem on their own, or trying to fix a situation on their own and try to get their own glory out of it and their own gratification out of it, they went to Jesus with their problems and then followed his instructions and trusted and believed in his power. So the important thing was they went to Jesus with their problems. And not only that, once he gave them the answer, they follow his instructions. So sometimes I feel like we as people, and myself, we know what the answer is, but because it's not the answer that we wanted, we don't follow the instruction. So it's not just enough to go to Jesus with the problem. You have to actually do what he asks you to do in order to solve that problem. Because if you don't, the problem will not get resolved the way that it needs to be in God's way. And you'll forever be in God's way until you resolve that situation the way that he instructed you to. All right, so Jesus was able and more than willing to bless them because they obeyed him and had faith to leave their troubles and worries in his hands. And look what he did. He blessed them in abundance with food, and he blessed them in the spirit as well. Sometimes we forget that when we go through things, there's a spiritual being, meaning God, Jesus, waiting for you to come to him so he can step in and take control of the situation. And just like he fed those 5,000 people, he can solve any situation that you feel is too big for you to handle on your own. Any burden that is too big for you to handle on your own. Any weight that you feel like is too heavy for you to carry. He can always step in, but you have to be willing to accept and do what he instructs you to do in order to take that weight off, in order to solve that situation or problem that you're having. And once he does that, he doesn't just stop there. He blesses you, like I said, in abundance. There was still food left over, even though it looked like there was no way all 5,000 people cannot be fed. And just like that, he can bless you in abundance. You can get that new car. He can give you enough money for your mortgage. And then he give you enough money to go to the mall afterwards. That's the crazy thing. He can get you that car note. He can erase that eviction notice. He can make that cancerous tumor disappear, even though the doctor said you only have 2 weeks to live. He can get you that new job. He can help you get that new promotion. He can help you pass all your classes. You know, with each situation, trial, tribulation, obstacle, hurdle, mountain that comes into your life, you should go into it with the mindset of, me being mad about it doesn't change the situation at all. But what if I gave it to Jesus, who can do all things, and stay patient and have faith in him? How much stronger can this make me? How much wiser can this make me? Is God looking at how I react to this? If you go in as, what if this is God testing me or the devil trying me every time, you will start to find another level of strength, faith, and peace in the midst of that situation, and you will overcome it and have joy afterwards. So just remember that God knows the magnitude of your situation. He knows you have only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. But if you trust him, he will supply your every need and bless you in abundance.